Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the RCL 25 qualification round 1, split 2. We're doing Mazda MX-5s. We are at Laguna Seca. I am very attractive, and with me, as always, is the man who has a plan for the ham, Michael Magus.
Hello, everybody! I love Laguna Seca. The corkscrew is magical. Now, just a heads up to the chat. If the audio needs any work, please let us know. It's been a while since we did this whole setup, and I have no idea if we are broadcasting in the correct terms.
Indeed.
So keep that in mind. One moment while I try to get the Parsec to stop eating my mouse.
Dun, dun, dun. Please pause for technical difficulties. Mio is experiencing the thing that is not good.
Actually, you know what I need to do? I need to just exit out of Parsec, turn off immersion mode, and then come back in.
I mean, these are all possible things.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I can't see anything for a moment. Byron will have to tell you what's going on.
Gunnar has turned invisible and is now racing across the track invisibly.
I see. All right, immersion mode is off. Rejoining.
Immersion mode, not the same as emulsification mode.
Would you look at that? My mouse is back. Thank you very much.
Gunnar.
So this is the opening round of this whole thing, so I do not know what to tell you about standings and so on, because there are not one. And to be honest, I'm not 100% certain on what the deal with the rules and everything is, but we'll figure it out as we go along here.
See.
And get the commentary names out there, and get the QR code out there if you want to go check out the ESR store.
Heck yeah, get yourself a wonderful, comfortable
So
heading.
in the field today, right now, right this second, we have 15 drivers. We have Peter Daniel, Gunnar Rickles, Fotis Zoglu, the Greek Freak is back, Byron.
Ha-cha-cha.
We've got Martin Evans, Stefan Franks, Nicholas Campbell, Wilfredo Sevilla, Fran Hidalgo, who is new to me, I do believe, Ariel Zatoni, Henny Lefebvre. I'm going to go with Lefebvre until I hear differently. Willie Vanden Herk. I like that name. Oliver Erm, Jason Underwood, and finally Niels Lefebvre, which I assume is related in some way to Henny Lefebvre. However, we did have that race a while back where we had two Kratchvilles, and they were not related. So that is possible.
Indeed. I was kind of disappointed. I thought that might be Nev Campbell for a second there.
Not Nicholas Campbell.
No offense, Nick. No offense, but come on.
Looks like I may have a slight push talk issue, so hopefully that doesn't get in the way.
Push harder.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening when I'm off Discord. It's not doing it. So one moment, I'll be
yeah.
right. I'll be right back. I'm gonna kick it into admin again. It was in admin. Apparently, it's not in admin right now. Anyways, Byron, fill time.
It does that to me too. I just have to leave Discord in full screen mode, so it's technically on top of whatever.
Let me just try that. Okay.
Yep.
Not working, unfortunately.
Well, you're fired. Oh my God, he's left me alone. What do I do? Let's say all the bad things to get the channel removed from everything. Other than that, everybody give us a like and a subscription.
Everything tried to work against us today.
Michael will just keep talking, and if he doesn't stop talking, the heat death of the universe accelerates.
Yeah, it's up as admin and it's still not doing it right. All right, I'll have to work around this. That's going to be fun. Also, my sound just cut out because it does that when I join Discord.
Very nice. Mike has to work through 17 different programs and 8 different settings on his headphones.
It's not that many. It's just, I don't know. It seems to not like working with Parsec all that much is the problem.
Well, maybe you should sit them both down and have them talk it out.
I mean, that'd be good. There, my sound is back.
Excellent.
To be clear, I can still hear Byron when the sound gets kicked out. It's just I can't hear the game. Unfortunately, when I'm in VNC, the mic doesn't seem to want to work, so there may be some delayed commentary coming from me. We'll see how that goes. I see the audience is growing. This is good.
The audience swells with anger.
Possibly. We are wrapping up practice here, so there's not a lot to talk about. I don't know what these guys are running as far as setups are concerned. Could be in a practice setup. Could be trying something new. Could be in a full-on qualifying setup, so I don't even know if these paces are necessarily accurate, but it looks like we have about a 5-second gap across the field. And there are 2 drivers. One is Jason Underwood. The other one is Niels Lefebvre, who have yet to post a lap time yet. So we'll see if they give us something to work with there. Also, I like the 8-bit livery.
I believe Wheelie Vanden Hercules here is running a straight 14 with leaf springs for suspension.
We have an interesting mix of flags on the server today. Let's see. We have 3 Dutch drivers, 1 Greek, 1 Czech, 1 German, 2 Canadians, 2 Spaniards, 1 South African, and 1 Swiss.
Swiss?
Mm-hmm. Actually, 2 Germans. I missed the second German. And an Argentinian, Ariel Zatoni.
How's the Swiss even going to race if he's always in neutral? Huh?
Ba-bam.
It's a hot track.
Throw the event info up there for everybody. There you go. 20-degree air temperature, 30-degree track, 1 kilometer wind, dry, forecast dry. I don't even know why they have the weather forecast in Race Room. There is no rain in Race Room. There's no way to make a wet race.
Forecast, the mother of all storms. It's going to be huck and cactus around. Going through the desert on a horse with no name, we have Hidalgo.
I'm just going to... Yeah, Byron will clear time for you while I mess around and continue to try to make my goddamn settings, my Steam work.
Oh my God.
Steam, pardon me, my Discord.
What's to say other than I've had a knock at the door? Well, that's going to have to wait. Mike, how many woodchucks would it take to chuck all of the wood in East Jersey?
Oh, a lot in that case.
Probably a lot. More than 3. Oh, you know what the knock at the door is? I bet you that's the Amazon delivery. I have at least
but you got delivery.
Salt.
Mm-hmm.
They, I got a deal. I don't think I got a deal, but it was like $40 for like 6 kilograms of coarse sea salt, and I happen to be just about out of salt. And
Nice.
the last time I ordered that, it lasted way over a year, so I thought I'd do it again.
You know what I could just do is turn off push to talk for this. I'm gonna do that for a bit, and we'll see what happens.
Fair enough.
We'll see how quickly I drive you insane. For those who do not know, Byron hates people who use voice activation. Hates.
I do. Well, to be fair, in my defense, everybody who uses voice activation or just an open mic always has the noisiest shit kid or some annoying pet or lives next to a fire hall or, you know, things like that. And or they just sit there having a discussion with their girlfriend about fucking cheese for an hour.
Gouda cheese, to be specific.
Yeah.
But hopefully I won't have that problem. I have no kids. I have no animals. So any noise should be specifically coming from me.
Anybody who thinks it's a good idea, please have Mio delivered a parakeet. I don't know. Can you have parakeets delivered?
Probably.
I keep threatening to have gallons of KFC gravy delivered to him.
You know, right when I go to voice activation, I get some hiccups. So yeah, that's good. So far, I think I've been able to keep them from coming through the but that may be a problem. I've got the gate up pretty high, so it should like, let's see here. Yeah, rocking my chair doesn't set it off, so that's good.
Excellent.
But sniffles don't, because believe me, the sniffles will be setting it off because I'm allergic to something, and it is nasty, and it is not good. It is not great.
I got the black lung pop.
For about like most of June and like into July, miserable time with the allergies. Miserable time. Oh, we have a new driver. Sven Sembler has joined the grid.
It reminds me of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Mm.
The scene where he goes back to Vegas and he checks into the hotel that's having the cop convention, and your boy Kevin Maloney's the gay concierge.
Oh.
And he just busts past the angry cop and his wife and just talks nice to Sven and quarter wild turkey, quarter rum, and what do you think about some limes? And Maloney's like, I'd say okay. That's one of my favorite parts of that movie is Kevin Maloney as Sven, the gay concierge.
Indeed. Okay. I've not seen that movie in a long time.
It's got so many awesome cameos. You got Gibbs is in it. Leroy Jethro Gibbs, Mark Harmon.
Ah, Mark Harmon. Yeah.
Brain, come on. That super hot chick was in The Mask.
Cameron Diaz?
Cameron Diaz is in it for like a hot second.
Ironically, don't find Cameron Diaz that hot in most movies, but in The Mask, she was super hot.
God, yeah. Gary Busey has an excellent bit part in there.
Of course.
I can't remember who else. I'm trying to think of. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember. I'd probably have to watch the movie again. Michael, let's watch Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
I was waiting for that to bump up. Let's see here. Movie. Cameos. They got a list here on Wikipedia.
Oh, nice.
Troy Evans, Debbie Reynolds, Jeanette Goldstein, Vern Troyer.
Oh, right.
Gregory Itzen, Lorraine Newman, Hunter S. Thompson, and Penn Jillette.
Oh, yeah, Penn Jillette's in there. I forgot about that. And Hunter S. Thompson plays himself, looking back at himself through a drug-fueled shenanigans.
Yep.
And does Debbie Reynolds really count? Because she's not, like, physically seen.
Well, it's a voice cameo.
Yeah, that's fair.
The others, some of the others are obviously just in the normal cast. Like they have Cameron Diaz as just a regular cast member as opposed to a cameo.
That's fair. I mean, she's on screen for more than 30 seconds, so yeah, I guess.
Her character is just called the blonde TV reporter, so you know.
Yeah, pretty much.
A lovely, a making role for sure.
To be fair, she's just standing there in an elevator while Benicio del Toro is being a freak.
So Benicio del Toro being Benicio del Toro.
Kind of. Oh, Tobey Maguire. Did you say Tobey Maguire?
I did not.
Tobey Maguire's in there. He's the weird balding kid in the opener.
Yep, there he is, the hitchhiker, yeah.
Yep. Hot damn, I never rode in a convertible before. Is that right?
Oh, Kim Flowers is in the movie. There we go.
Who?
Kim Flowers is the hot chick from Alien Resurrection.
No. I don't remember that one.
It's not very good. It is in my opinion the worst movie because so Alien 3 generally gets listed as the worst of the four Alien movies, the original four. However, I give credit to Alien 3 for having everything going wrong as far as
is that the one where they absolutely screwed Fincher over?
Okay, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, that one gets passed.
The fact that movie comes out being even watchable given the backstory is impressive. Whereas with Alien Resurrection, everything went right and it just was still just not very good.
Everybody needs a montage. Good old healthy montage.
Which is a shame because you got Ron Perlman in Alien Resurrection. You've got a really, really good cast, and it really should have just been better.
That is fair.
You got CSI's Gary Dordan in there. He's Warwick Brown in Las Vegas.
Yep.
You've got I can never remember his name. He is in the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves. So the Kevin Costner movie. Mm-hmm. He is the Sheriff of Nottingham's cousin. He is in that movie.
Oh, right.
His voice always I don't even really remember what he looks like. I just hear the voice and I'm like, hey, is that guy?
Why a spoon, cousin?
Yes, that guy.
Right. Oh, so my boy Chris and I, we were watching movies, and we watched
Breaking Bad's crazy drug-fueled dude. Man, I'm really not helping myself with this one, am I? With the memory here. Why don't I just pull up the cast? That feels like the answer here. So Alien Resurrection has the following people. So you've obviously got Sigourney Weaver. Duh. You've got Winona Ryder. You've got Dominic Pien. You've got Ron Perlman, Gary Dordan. Michael Wincott is the dude with the voice from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. You've got Kim Flowers. You've got Dan Hedaya. I remember his character, but I don't know. I don't really remember him from anything else.
I know what Dan. I know what he's in a bunch of detective gangster type things.
J.E. Freeman, who is all kinds of fun. Brad Dourif, who is all kinds of fun.
Yep.
Raymond Cruz is the crazy dude from Breaking Bad. There we go. Also played a Marine in Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Nice.
We have Leland Orser, who's been in a lot of stuff. And that's about it. There's some other people here, but they don't really ring a bell.
Mike, I need you while you're doing that to also look up and see what else did the guy in the hat from The Fifth Element do after that.
Which guy in the hat are we talking about?
We're talking about the hold up in the beginning of the. Give me the cash.
Oh, give me the cash. I don't even really know what that guy would be.
I don't know. I'm assuming it's just the guy with the hat or give me the cash guy.
Fifth Element. Yeah, I don't know. There's not really a listing here in the casting that leads me to where I need to be.
Fair enough. I just, for some reason or other, was thinking about quirky characters, and that guy popped into my head. I'm like, what did he do before or
No
after?
idea. No idea. Looking. He might be the character Mugger,
Yeah,
maybe?
yeah, that's probably right. Yeah,
Matthew Kasovitz is his name.
but what is
He is
his game?
in not really anything else I'm recognizing, to be honest.
Oh, bummer. I kind of hoped he had secretly this other cool career.
No, nor anything that has a particularly good star rating on IMDb.
Fair enough. Oh yeah, that's definitely the guy. 100% that guy. So Chris and I were watching movies, and we watched. He had never seen Lord of Illusions, so we watched Lord of Illusions and In the Mouth of Madness in the same night. And something was bugging me, and I couldn't really. It's one of those things that I didn't know why I was being bothered by something I couldn't even put my finger on, and it just kind of suddenly came to me as we're like 3/4 of the way through Lord of Illusions, and I had to pause the movie and do a quick search, and the main character from Lord of Illusions is also Benny from the Mummy movie.
Ah,
Hey, O'Connell. Yeah, no, like, I couldn't figure.
O'Connell, I have all the horses. Hey, Benny, you're on the wrong side of the river.
So I don't know. It just like it's one of those things that just culminated all at once. Like, oh my god, that's the guy. What do you mean the guy? Pause movie, look it up. Yeah, I'm right. That's Benny.
It's Benny.
Because we had watched
Can't
all.
really say that I've seen him in anything else, but he was very good in the Bunny.
He can't remember. He was in something else as well.
Oh, probably. I'm like, there are very, very few actors that you see in literally one thing.
No, I mean there was something like very prominent he was also in. But I can't remember what, and I'm gonna look it up now. Dun, 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 dun.
In the meantime, after we've gotten sidetracked, let's talk a little bit about the qualifying that's going on right now. On pole position, we have Peter Daniel, who we are checking out right now. Second place for Gunnar Rickles, Gunnar Ricks, pardon me. I'm adding an L where there is not an L. Then it is Ariel Zatoni, Fotis Zoglu, Steve Davidson, Martin Edmonds, Sven Semler, Adam Komorowski, who's joined up to the server, Stefan Frings, and Wilfredo Sevilla. Don't take this the wrong way, Wilfredo. I'm not used to you being in the top 10.
Wow, you're probably not wrong.
Wilfredo has historically been a bit of a tail end Charlie.
Oh, that's probably what it was. We watched another movie called Seraphim Falls, which has James Bott and Darkman, and he's in that.
Ah, okay.
It's a Western that has Pierce Brosnan and I'm looking at the movie poster and can't remember the other guy's name, so I'm gonna have to actually open the link.
Picking up Fran Hidalgo here, who should have an improvement lap coming up here. Entering the last little bit of Laguna Seca here. Should break into the 39s, maybe? Maybe even better than that. See here? Quite a bit. Yeah, there we are. 39s. 7th place. Nice. I will say I missed my ACC timing data that ACC gives you, which Race Room does not quite do.
Well, perhaps
Penny Lefebvre across the line, still going to be up to 13th. So becoming the second Dutch driver in the field. Peter Daniel still in the lead. He's got 2 purple sectors on the board. Not much of an improvement, mind you, but should be a little bit of an improvement here. No, not a good third sector. Lost about a 10th. This is Ariel Zatoni coming to the line. Should be a decent improvement here. No improvement. Wow. The gap between Peter Daniel and everybody else in the third sector must be exceptional. Because we're seeing a lot of like relatively low delta splits through sectors 1 and 2, like 1.2 here for Adam Komorowski. That would make you think that he's going to have like a second gain here because his current lap time is 2.7 off. But I'm betting you it's not going to be even nearly that good. Which makes sense, I think, because the corkscrew, I believe, is part of the third sector, and that is the make or break section of the lap. Up to eighth. But case in point there, he still lost about 7/10 in the third sector. Let me just see if I can get the sector breakdowns here. Okay, so sector 1, no, I don't have it on the map I have here. 1 sec.
Oh my god. Mike, is it true that Peter Daniel is actually driving an MX-6?
Nope. Let's see here. I need a track map that has the sector times, if you please. I guess I could just pop up the where is it here?
I don't know.
Oh, they don't have the track map option anymore. That's a little bit lame. It used to be that in Race Room you could pop up a track map on the screen and like just look at it and see where the sectors end. But alas, that does not appear to be an option anymore. Let me see here. So per the internet, I have... Now, the corkscrew is part of Sector 2, per the internet. Sector 3 is just a rainy curve and the last couple of turns, which is interesting that it's producing a multiple tenth variance, basically seemingly across the field. Peter Daniel's just like much quicker. Wilfredo Sevilla looking to get back up into the top 10. And he will, up into 10th place with a 1:39.439.
Mike, do you think Wilfredo listens to the Ace of Spades nonstop while racing?
Could be. I wonder if he has the Ace of Spades League of Legends modifier.
I don't know what that means, but he might.
There's a character in there's a character in League of Legends named Mordekaiser that has his Q ability is called the Mace of Spades. So somebody got a little plug-in you could have with the game where every time you hit the Q and got a kill, it would play Ace of Spades.
That is awesome. Convert that over into Race Room.
It was hard to trigger because you didn't get a lot of kills with the Q. Like, it wasn't really his kill ability necessarily.
Oh, yeah.
The Siphon of Destruction and the his alt, which is called Children of the Grave. Boom, there you go. Those were how he generally got kills. But if you get a kill with the Q, the killing blow with the Q, it would play Ace of Spades.
That's awesome. Did they also do a plug-in for the Children of the Grave so it plays Black Sabbath?
You would think that they may have. I didn't have it, though.
Fair enough. I demand all the things. I demand that be ported over into Race Room so that every time Wilfredo passes somebody, it plays Ace of Spades.
That's not. I don't think it's the name of Mordekaiser's alt anymore because his alt doesn't do what the Children of the Grave did. Children of the Grave used to give you a little ghosty pet. So you put your alt on somebody. If they died with the alt on them, they would come back as a ghost that you controlled, and that was the deal. Now what his alt does is suck the target into a shadow dimension where it's just the two of you, and it's basically a duel.
Interesting.
It's basically your teammates are not here to help you anymore, boy.
And you stab him in the gooch.
Now, I will say the problem with his current alt is that his current alt doesn't really work all that well if you're behind. Like, if you've been having a bad game, your alt kind of becomes useless because it's like, all right, who can I alt and actually beat in the duel? But his current alt is basically the classic, you're not locked in, I'm not locked in here with you, you're locked in here with me. That is my favorite League of Legends character for anybody who missed my phase of League of Legends exploits, I should say. And then I got banned.
Me too. Oh my god, it's Gus Fring.
Up into the top 10 for Stefan Frings. Moving into 9th place. Oh, that is some bad traffic for Adam Komorowski. Man, Komorowski's sliding around a lot here. He's got a very loose car. Now, the bright side of the loose car, great speed. Fantastic. But the downside is you're going all over the place. Feel like I need to do the it's the white man can't jump bit with the it's like out here in the outside, the wind can push the ball a couple of feet to the left or to the right. And that is Adam Komorowski's car here is speaking of loose, Nicholas Campbell loses it on the out of the last turn and ruins what was otherwise looking like a very good lap. Pick up the sword car here of Fotis Zoglu. He's always in the black cars. It's a pattern with him. Can't blame him. If there's a green livery, I'm probably going to take it. So, you know.
Hell yeah.
I definitely feel the... also, the whole thing with Race Room is you don't necessarily... When you buy a car, unless you want all the liveries, which costs extra, you just pick one livery. So you'd pick the one that you like. And if you're a big fan of, you know, black liveries, you're going to have a lot of those and not really anything else. Steve Davidson currently in the top 10. Decently tight field here today. It gets a little bit spread out towards the back there with Henny Lefebvre, Willie Vandenherk, and Oliver Erne? What are we thinking? Erne? French pronunciation or German pronunciation? What are we thinking?
I think we should just call him Ernie.
He's from Switzerland, which, of course, you know, that's 50-50. That's coin flip.
Yeah, I don't know. Ern's probably good for now. And if it's Erne, then he'll be fancy Sesame Street from then on out.
Ah.
Bertram and Erne.
I do love that Switzerland is the only country in the history of Formula One that had a Grand Prix while Grand Prix racing was illegal in the country. And the deal was it was actually a second French race, basically. But they didn't want to have two French Grand Prix. Same thing, same deal when Nürburgring was called the Luxembourg Grand Prix for some reason. Nürburgring is in Germany. It's not even particularly close to Luxembourg, but they called it the Luxembourg Grand Prix as a way around having two German Grand Prix. Same deal with the Swiss Grand Prix. It was a Swiss Grand Prix in name, but it was not in Switzerland.
I demand that they make a Grand Prix track that runs the entire border length of Luxembourg.
Oh, apparently we have a live chat issue is not enabled. One moment, please.
Oh, that's weird.
I will poke around in the control room. As for Martin, who's telling me this, Martin, you were supposed to have everything set up for me. It's not my fault.
I was wondering why nobody was saying anything.
Well, we also have a small audience. A lot of our views do not come live. Let's see here. Where is our stream settings?
That should be a YouTube thing, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's where I am. I'm not seeing a live chat enabled. I think the live chat is working. I just put one in there with the ESR account, a little test there. And yeah, Byron did as well. Yeah, it's working. So Martin, 100%. If you can hear the sound of my voice, I think the problem is on your end.
Testes, 1, 2, 3.
There we go. Martin is up and chatting with us in the chat there. So time running down here, minute 9 left. So we're talking about the last lap or maybe two. Maybe you could squeeze in two at this point. But Peter Daniel still in the lead. Jason Underwood in 8th place. He had no time in the qualifying setup, or in the practice. So there we go. That's a good first sector there. But time will be down, so he'll be able to finish this lap and no further. Peter Daniel, Gunnar Rick, Ariel Zatoni, Photozazoglu, Martin Edmonds, Adam Komorowski, Steve Davidson, Jason Underwood, Nicholas Campbell, Stefan Friggs. Your top 10 right now. A couple of them are still out there trying to improve times, though. Row 6 will be Semler and Sevilla. Row 7, Hidalgo and Lefebvre. Row 8 is Lefebvre number 2, and Vanden Herk and Earn will be at the back of the pack for the start of the race by the looks of it. By the way, Earn actually improved quite a bit towards the end of qualifying there. He was about 6 seconds off pole and got it down to 4.9. So that's good work. Very solid effort. Still last place, but I appreciate the effort and the improvements up until like basically the very end of the session. So that's nice. All right, we got ourselves 3 minutes of warm up here, and I'm going to quickly come up with the rules here, if I can.
What are the rules?
See what they have up on Race App here, and see what we can figure out. Info. Okay. 2 races today, 30 minutes and 30 minutes. We have Get Real as our physics mode, of course. We have tire and fuel wear are normal. Setup is fixed. Interesting. So no ability to do setup work, which I know is pretty minimal on the masses anyways. We have slow down penalties. No pit stop required. We have a reverse top 5 for race number 2. And that's about it. So pole position for race number 2 should belong to Martin Edmonds, as it is using the qualifying reverse grid, or that might be for race 1. I do not know. It does not specify here on the page.
I think to spice things up, we should have a perverse grid.
Well, that would be interesting.
Wow.
We were getting some love, by the way, in the ERA chat earlier today for our ability to pronounce Portuguese names.
It's a side product of degenerate youth.
Years and years of combat sports.
Correct. Although it is fun to hear people just still say things like Royce Gracie.
If you want to try your hand at beating Byron in the combat simulator, feel free. He will be doing tomorrow a last man standing little thingamabobber.
I will be using, of course, only Imanari rolls. Probably not.
It would be interesting if you did something like really, really silly. But
you start doing the beer and bolo.
It is your call. Not a lot of game plans that I think are going to be all that interesting have come in. It's good. It's going to be just whoever catches you after you've absorbed a heinous amount of damage that might be able to get the kill shot.
No, here's the scenario: is that whoever comes in first is going to be real defensive. They're going to keep their fingers up and cringe away, and when I lunge in for the kill, one of their fingers going straight in through my eyeball into my brain.
No, sir. My fighter is getting the first crack. Don't worry.
Oh, he's rigging the field.
I'm going full hog and trying to get the job done.
He's rigging the field.
It's not gonna happen.
The fix is in.
My fighter is, I think, like perhaps the least capable of actually beating you, outside of like the tiny dudes. Because, like, let's face it, like my way of beating you would be getting into the clinch with you, and that's a bad idea. That's a terrible idea.
It's not the best.
There's a reason that the Byron quote is, "I want them baby back ribs." I mean, the person who has absolutely no hope of beating you would be Christian, I guess, because he's tiny.
Christian.
He is a flyweight. On board with
power.
Oliver Earn for the start of the race here. And off we go. The green flag is here at Laguna Seca. We are headed down for the first time to the Andretti Hairpin in Anger. Gunnar Ricks trying to get into the lead here against Peter Daniel. I could barely hear myself over the cars. Daniel will keep the lead ahead of Ricks, Martin Edmonds, Ariel Zatoni, and Komorowski. That is your top five. Zoglu's had a bad start. He's back to sixth place ahead of Campbell, Underwood, Davidson, and Semler. So Daniel in the lead. Ricks in second. Edmonds in third in the white and red car. On board with him. As we head up to the corkscrew, Byron, do you remember the corkscrew?
I remember that it might be a tad angular.
Well, you're about to see it. It's the next turn coming up. We just went through the kink. And we're heading to the corkscrew for one of the most difficult turns in all of American motorsports. Let's go!
Very nice.
I was teaching someone how to do sim racing a while back. This was when my cousin was over from Yugoslavia. And the first he picked Laguna Seca for his first track, and I'm like, that's a bad idea. There are tracks that you want to learn on. Monza is a good example of this. Barcelona is not too bad, but Laguna Seca, the corkscrew, along with like Spa Eau Rouge, these are not the things you want to learn first. These are the things that are meant to horrify. On board with Adam Komorowski, who runs in sixth place behind Fotis Zizoglu. And has Zizoglu, that is Ariel Zatoni. And behind them is Campbell, followed by Underwood and Davidson. And Frings, Semler, Sevilla, Lefebvre, and Hidalgo. The back three have kind of fallen into a little bit of a battle of their own. That is Earn versus Vandenherk and Lefebvre. Peter Daniel still leads the way. His last lap was a 1:47.17. Fastest lap of the race. That will be beaten quite soundly, I think, by the end of it.
The winner gets an MX 5.1.
On board with Jason Underwood, our South African representative. Yep. There's the laps coming in. Who's the new fast lap owner? Looks like it's still Peter Daniel at a 1:37.674. I still think that there will be much faster than that before the end of the day.
I think they'll have it down to an even 36 seconds.
Well, they're heavy on fuel right now, so they'll probably get into about the 36s, I think, for sure. Underwood on the attack against Nicholas Campbell. Campbell gets the elbows out there in the U.S. Air Force car and hangs on to 7th place for the time being. Underwood looking to the inside. Going side by side through the corkscrew is generally not a great idea. I'm just going to throw that out there right now.
It's fine.
Oliver Earn is off the track somewhere. There he is, recovering. Looks like he had a rough run through the kink. Sometimes you got to pay double for that. Up ahead of us, we have Komorowski and Zatoni going, or Komorowski and Zoglu, pardon me, going so side by side. And Underwood continues to pressure into the Andretti hairpin against Nicholas Campbell. Good luck to all the other ESR racers who are in action in other splits. There are 4 splits. This is the second of them.
Oh boy. You keep hitting the bumper like that, you're going to dull your sword.
Mm.
Michael, can you do the splits?
Oh boy, big
Oh, boy.
Big action there with Steve Davidson, Nicholas Campbell, and Jason Underwood all getting into it. Possibly collected a couple other cars as well as they went through there. That'll reshape the bottom part of the top 10 quite a bit.
Reshape your face.
A little bit. Komorowski hangs on against Zoglu for the time being. Zatoni up ahead going after Martin Edmonds, a classic rivalry, Martin Edmonds versus Ariel Zatoni. And we're on board with Henny Lefebvre, who is battling with Willy Vandenherk for top Dutch honors. Oliver Earn is in the pit lane for a pit stop. That is not required, so that would be a optional damage stop.
I didn't know you were allowed to have optional damage.
Not optional damage, optional stop.
They need a montage after they accept their optional damage.
A couple other cars going in for damage as well. Nicholas Campbell, and as well as Niels Lefebvre.
Niels is having the hover wagon adjusted. Very nice.
I personally preferred what was going on with Campbell's car. It was like just the one side that was jacked up. Zoglu versus Komorowski side by side in the corkscrew. Camera guy, what are you doing here? What are you doing, camera guy? I know that I'm technically the camera guy, but right now it's an auto control. Semler versus Sevilla in the corkscrew. No dice there. Fran Hidalgo on the back end of that, as well as Steve Davidson. And behind him would be Jason Underwood. Here's Edmonds versus Zatoni. Edmonds still hanging on to that final podium spot. And around the outside of the Andretti hairpin. That's a hard overtake to make work. But it will be the inside line into corner 3. Or corner 2, depending on your point of view. And Zatoni got through. Again, the camera. Camera guy, okay, fine, auto director. I'll do it myself. Making me do manual control here. God damn it.
I'm going to change his name to Manuel Lebor.
Mm-hmm. Nils Lefebvre is still in the pits, but Nicholas Campbell has rejoined. And Wilfredo Sevilla having a good day up in 8th place. Got Sven Simler on his tail. Semler, pardon me. And believe me, it is an insult when I say similar because there's a story behind that. That poor bastard who got knocked out real hard on the Ultimate Fighter.
Oh, right.
And got Rampage making fun of him while he was unconscious. Not the most famous knockout in the history of Ultimate Fighter, which I'm pretty sure still is Uriah Uriah Hall against moving up a spot there is Steve Davidson going side by side with Underwood, pardon me. It was the Adam Sella Uriah Hall knockout, I think is probably the most famous one with the I'm sorry, Adam.
Yeah. That was really scary. He broke his jaw and, well, knocked him out, but broke his jaw as well. And so he was so messed up from being knocked out that all he could do is just very loudly moan in pain. And everybody was very terrified.
That was the Dan Simler, Matt Riddle knockout. The Sella knockout was just Sella being dead. There were no sounds. Oh, Ariel Zatoni has gone off the track. I'll drop him out of the podium contention for the time being. Underwood on the tail of Fran Hidalgo. Looking down the inside of the corkscrew, maybe, but that is a bold move to say the least. There is a car falling back there. That is Zatoni. And also off the track that's got to be someone who's lapped. Possibly Niels Lefebvre, I would imagine. Getting out of the way. He had problems early on, picked up a lot of damage. And Underwood versus Hidalgo continues for 9th place. And in behind them, it is Zatoni and Davidson. Fotis Zoglu is on the tail of Martin Edmonds. Battle for 3rd place. So Edmonds managed to fend off Zatoni and may or may not have sent him off into the desert. Just saying. We didn't see it. We didn't see why Ariel ended up in the sand.
Off through the desert on a horse with no name.
In the meantime, Wilfredo Sevilla continues to lead this train that goes all the way back to 12th place.
I like that livery. I like the way that the different shades of those colors work together.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of good liveries in the Mazda field.
I don't see no Gulf oil.
No, there wouldn't be. That's more of a Porsche thing. I may require a bathroom break between the 2 races. I'm just going to say. Right now.
That is perfectly acceptable. That's what
Zoglu up the inside of Martin. And Martin manages to close the door there through the final turn. Whoa! Getting a little sandy. No one's gotten to 36s yet. I thought that would be our fastest lap, but the fastest lap so far is a 37.43 by the race leader. And this could be a 3 wide here as Semler goes for the overtake on Sevilla, and Underwood is coming with. And they will both make the move there on Sevilla, who drops back to 9th place. With Hidalgo, Davidson, and Lefebvre? No, Lefebvre's too far back. That's got to be a lapped car that's tagging onto the back there. Which, to be clear, could make it Lefebvre, just the other Lefebvre. Niels as opposed to Henny.
Was this about some Hennessy?
Underwood looking for the move. The kink is a dangerous spot to go for the move, and obviously so is the corkscrew, but at the same time, there's not a lot of great opportunities around Laguna Seca. This is a very limited overtake selection. Semler, for the time being, will hang on. Ariel Zatoni could be the danger man. We saw him battling for the podium earlier, had an off, and has been on a recovery drive ever since. Still tagging around behind Hidalgo and ahead of Davidson. Davidson looking for a move there as Zatoni gets very wide through the Andretti hairpin, and Davidson may pick up a spot for free here. He will. Didn't really have to work terribly hard for that one.
I think now's the time that Ariel's going to start throwing live badgers into people's cars as he passes them by.
Could be. Could be. Ariel goes around the outside into the corkscrew. Ooh, Davidson's got the inside line, though. Little contact, little rub. But Rubbin is racing, and Ariel's overtake has failed for the time being. So Edmonds is now got company from Adam Komorowski as Zoglu chases him as well. So it's now a three-way fight for that final spot on the podium. Not much going on at the front. Peter Daniel has about a 3-second lead over Gunnar Ricks. And both of them are quite a ways clear of this battle. So it looks like they'll be 1-2. And the question is, who's going to be behind them on the podium? Jason Underwood continues to try to make his way through, overtaking Sven Semler. And that'll be good enough for 7th place for the time being. He was higher up in the pecking order, of course, earlier, but had that... whatever happened between him and Nicholas Campbell, we didn't see it, so I can't really speculate. But they ended up side by side and blocking the track. So something happened. And the battle for Spanish honor here between Wilfredo Sevilla and Fran Hidalgo over 9th place. Semler is not giving up. Still fighting here with Underwood. Down the inside at the kink and into the corkscrew. But the inside line on the downhill section will belong to Underwood. And should, coming out of the rainy curve here, keep the position.
How's it going to get rainy in the desert, though?
It does rain in the desert. It's just very rare. The rainy curve, though, is just named after a driver. It's rainy as in R-A-N-E-Y.
Did they call him the Rain Man?
Don't think so. Racing doesn't really do like kind of ironic nicknames much. It really kind of requires Adam Komorowski and Fotis Zoglu have a coming together. We tuned in a bit too late to assign blame there. Komborowski should get underway, still ahead of Stefan Frings, though. Ariel Zatoni looking to make a move here on Fran Hidalgo for 10th place. Through the kink. And up towards the corkscrew, Wilfredo Sevilla is ahead of them. Zatoni with the inside line, but as you know, that's going to turn into the outside line. But he makes the overtake. Nerves of steel from the Argentine driver. And Hidalgo comes back at him, but Hidalgo's going to end up off the track. And really the winner of this is Steve Davidson, is he's going to overtake both of them and take 10th place. Says thank you very much. A polite wave as the Canadian makes his way through. So Tony trying to get back up into that 10th place. Makes the move down the inside of the Andretti hairpin. And Davidson and him have a come together, and Hidalgo gets picked up in that as well.
Oh, boy.
That's Niels Lefebvre making his way through there. He's a lapped car. So they'll more or less retain their positions. Davidson losing a spot to Hidalgo, but they will fall well behind the likes of Underwood, Semler, and Sevilla. Today's hard charger is Stefan Frings. Started the race in 10th place and currently runs in 6th. Davidson got a really good run through the corkscrew there. Might have also cut the track, if we're being honest. But if the game doesn't catch you on the slowdown penalty, it is what it is. And he is going to overtake Fran Hidalgo as a result. Can confirm the lap time was invalid. However, that was also the lap where he had the contact coming out of Andretti hairpin, so it was probably already invalid before the corkscrew. Haven't really had a look at Stefan Frings, to the point where actually I didn't know what livery he was running. He is in the yellow Mazda car. Solid day. Making up some ground from 10th place on the grid to 6th place in the race. Very good work. Hasn't been eye-catching, necessarily, but it has been very solid. But they all have so far fallen to... Oh, we lost Steve Davidson.
No, Steve Dave.
He's retired.
You can't do this to me.
There was a brief off between him and Fran Hidalgo. I wonder what happened there. Didn't see it. Peter Daniel getting a little bit of time in the sun here as he continues to lead from Gunnar Ricks. And Edmonds has had some drama, but he holds on to 3rd place ahead of Zizoglu, Komorowski, and Frings. Underwood, Semler, Sevilla, and Zatoni rounding off the top 10. See if Davidson's still here. Okay, he's still here, so he probably will take part in race number 2. No being summoned to his home planet. just on auto director at this point to check everything out. Everyone's pretty spaced out, so there's not a lot of action going on right now. The closest battle is the one that you're watching right now, just over a second between Martin Edmonds and Fotis Zoglu. And it is also over a podium spot.
It's Crazy Glue versus Poutine Man. Who will survive?
Good question. Cheese curds.
Indeed.
Well, we started with 17. We still have 16 running. Interesting note, there were only 4 legal laps last time around. Frings is catching Komorowski a little bit, and Soglu is catching Edmund. So we may yet have some showdowns here at the end. Not really sure how. Komorowski must have had a spin. Right. He got into it with Zoglu and may have nudged his rear quarter panel. I do remember him spinning now. I was trying to figure out why he was 11 seconds behind when he had previously been kind of the not really involved in this fight for the podium necessarily, but within vision of it. And I'd forgotten that he had that spin.
He was attacked by a rogue DJ.
Well, that would be a terrible fate. A fate worse than death, you could say.
I could say. Hey, Stefan.
Limited action, but at least we have the lovely sounds of Race Room. A game that has always been quite highly rated for its audio.
They should have a reggae band in the stands that plays.
Oh, Fran Hidalgo losing control.
Boy. Out of control.
He was on his own, so can't imagine anyone played a role in that. Probably just caught a little bit too much of the curb. Back underway. Also was in the vicinity of the kink, and we do tend to see a fair number of mistakes through the kink. Still not a particularly close battle anywhere on the track right now. There's some heating up. Ariel Zatoni, who we pick up now, is catching up to the back of Wilfredo Sevilla. I do think we'll see maybe a bit of a showdown there on this last lap. But that's kind of about it. Like Frings and Zizoglu are going fast enough to catch up to the cars ahead of them, but I think are a little bit too far behind. I don't think the Delta really has them in it. But we'll see. Taking manual control of the camera.
Do it.
As Ariel's looking for the move. And we don't want to miss it. Sevilla's had a good day. He's led a couple of trains. He's shown some good defensive driving. But he is slower than Zatoni. We'll see if Zatoni can make that happen. It's about a 1.5 second delta. Meantime, Peter Daniel has picked up the W. I think that was supposed to be a celebratory donut, but it didn't quite work out. Gunnar Ricks and Martin Edmonds will join him on the podium. Really, the only question is who's going to get this 9th place, Zatoni or Sevilla?
I believe it will be John Cena. Dun, 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 dun.
Da-da, da-da-da-da. You can't see him. It will be Wilfredo Sevilla who hangs on towards the end, though. So Daniel, Ricks, and Edmonds, your podium. Zazoglu and Komorowski in the top 5. And then Frings, Underwood, Semler, Sevilla, and Zatoni, your top 10. Rounding out the field, we have Fran Hidalgo, Henny Lefebvre, Willie Vandenherk, Nicholas Campbell, Niels Lefebvre, and Oliver Ern. Pardon me. I said it like it was an M and it's an N. Just waiting for everyone to take the checkered flag and confirm. There we go. Fastest lap also to Peter Daniel, a 1:37.43. And we'll head on to race number 2, where I do believe it will be Martin Edmonds leading us from pole. If not, and I've read that the rules wrong, it'll be Adam Komorowski.
I believe you have read the rules.
Well, I appreciate that. The urge to to use the bathroom has kind of faded. So
he's gonna explode.
I'm with you. No, I don't intend to explode. Get a warm-up session here for anybody who wants to implement any. Well, actually, I guess there really aren't any changes because this is a fixed setup race, so there's not really anything that could be done except for, I guess, fuel adjustments. And beg pardon if any sniffles are coming through the microphone.
You're just gonna have to have your nose removed. That's all.
I mean, there would be advantages.
Although you could never go out in the rain again, you'd drown.
couple people practicing starts by the looks of it. I don't know if these cars have any start control, launch control, I should say. I have not raced the Mazda MXs in race room, and I really should, because they do look very, very fun. But haven't been messing around with race room all that much lately.
Well, maybe, perhaps, once they get your legs back from the factory, you should try that out.
And Byron doesn't mess around with it at all.
I do not.
All right, formation lap here to kick it off, and we'll see who triumphs here in race number 2. Byron, do you have any predictions? Anyone you're looking at with keen interest?
I believe the ultimate winner will be the man from Chile.
Well, he's not here today.
Well, that doesn't mean he's not the winner in my heart.
Or if he is, he's in another split.
True.
I see that James Butler and John Barker and Simeon Naku are in the voice chat, so presumably they are active in other servers.
Cha-cha-cha.
Steve Davidson gives us our on board as he brings us from the back. It'll be Komorowski, Zazoglu, Edmonds, Ricks, and Daniel in reverse order. And off to the start we go. Komorowski does have the lead from Zazoglu, with third place belonging to Ricks. A lot of action in the back there. Semler in the yellow car trying to make some moves. Also trying to come through there is one of the white and red cars. We have a couple of those in the field, so I'm not entirely sure who that is. But it will be Komorowski who leads, at least for now. Get that QR code up there.
Hell yeah. Get yourself a hoodie or a hat or a mug or something. It'll be awesome.
Komorowski leads the way from Zoglu, Ricks, Daniels, and Edmonds. Edmonds is the loser at the start. And Daniel held off for the time being by Ricks. Well, that is Frings losing control. And a couple other
Frings
cars
got
off there. Underwood had to take evasive action. Davidson's had a phenomenal start. He's up from dead last to 11th. As we pick on board with race 1 winner, Peter Daniel, pardon me.
David.
Tight battles really throughout the field. With the exception of Frings, who's a bit off the back end right now. And even he would have been in the fight had he not had the mistake there. This is the podium from last race. Ricks, Daniels, and Edmonds. Not in the same order. Ricks is ahead of Daniel. Komorowski and Zoglu trying to make a breakaway at the front. Well, they sort themselves out.
Put him in the wall.
Your big movers so far is Niels Lefebvre, who's up in his 7th place. Wow. Impressive start. And your big faller is, of course, Frings, who's dropped back 11 spots. Having started from 6th place and now running in 17th. On board with Peter Daniel. Looking to make a move on Ricks, as Frings has overtaken Earn for the coveted 18th or 16th place.
Michael, is it true that in the last 5 minutes these cars transform into robots and they just run around?
That would be intriguing. That would be some reboot stuff.
Hell yeah.
Still remember the first episode reboot was the Formula One race that turned into a hover car race and then airplanes.
But do you remember the 14th episode of GoBots?
You know, I would probably be able to look it up and like remember the episode, but no, I do not remember offhand what the 14th episode is.
Me neither. I just remember that GoBots Transformers
really,
were out.
I don't think
GoBots
I really
came
remember.
out, and everybody's like, "What the fuck?"
I don't think I really would remember the 14th episode of anything. The first episode of things I remember, but like if you ask me what the 14th episode of The Expanse was, couldn't tell you. Ask me what the first episode of The Expanse is, and I can tell you.
What about the crossover episode between House MD and Deep Space Nine?
There's really no. Well, there is a crossover actually episode to a certain degree because they had the actor who played Odo in House.
Very nice.
He was a patient. I do, if I recall correctly, and I may not. Basically, House made his great diagnosis, and the patient was going to die anyways. Peter Daniel with the move into 3rd place there. I'm pretty sure that's probably the only DS9 crossover with House. So speaking of stuff, there's a TV show called The Pit, which is being sued by the wife of Michael Crichton, the creator of ER, for being basically a knockoff of VR.
I mean, maybe.
I would have to probably say no, having watched both shows, but we'll see what happens legally speaking.
They've got doctors in it. You can't have doctors in more than one show.
So no, it's a more complicated deal than that. So originally, The Pit was meant to be an ER reboot, is the issue. But the wife did not give permission, did not believe that the compensation was sufficient. So they went back to the drawing board. They rewrote some things, so Noah Weil is in it. He's no longer John Carter, which was his ER character. He is now Dr. Robbie. And they changed some things. And I've watched the episodes. I'm like, outside of having like an actor from ER and having apparently one of the main creative guys behind ER on the staff, I'd argue it's really not that similar. But
fair enough.
I suppose I understand the, I guess, root of the case. But I would hope that it gets thrown out.
You can't have people be doctors in more than one show. I demand a recount.
Omar Epps would not like that. He's like a doctor in 4 different things. Made a bit of a career of it. Which, to be clear, I don't think if you had asked Omar Epps way back in the day if he was going to be known for playing doctors, he would have been very surprised, I think.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't he didn't he start doing action?
Yeah.
Or
action slash like, black drama, urban drama. Nicholas Campbell off the track falling backwards.
Well, I mean, people can Can look, even Omar Epps got out of the
Oh,
pulled himself
a
up.
little nudge there by Fotis Zoglu against race one winner Andre Peter Daniel.
Damn, Daniel.
Daniel going for the move though. He's going to try and stick it up the inside here of Zoglu, and he will. Taking second place as we head down to the Andretti hairpin once again. Looks to the outside. Komorowski covers the inside. And trying to go around the outside. Switches to the inside. And that is going to be the race lead for Peter Daniels. So it took him about 9 minutes to find his way to the front.
You can do it.
Komorowski, Zizoglu, Ricks. The three-car sandwich there with Edmonds a little bit further back and Ariel Zatoni in sixth place. By the way, Nils Lefebvre, who started the race quite well, made his way up into 7th from 16th, has only fallen back to 8th. So he's having a really solid race number 2 after a really problematic race number 1. 15th, pardon me. Not 16th. Steve Davidson and Wilfredo Sevilla having a good banger for 9th place as well. My apologies for the snorting.
He's like cocaine.
I wish.
Cocaine.
It would be far more pleasant than what is actually happening. On board with Martin Edmonds. Kids don't do drugs, stay in school.
Do not become Dr. Rux of the Rock and Roll Clan.
The people of ESR do not in any way support what Michael Maga says. Terrible role models do not follow my path. Zoglu looking to make a move there on Komorowski, but for the time being, the door is closed. And Gunnar Ricks looking to make a move on Zoglu for 3rd place. And Edmonds just kind of staring at them like a juicy pork chop. Action here at the corkscrew. Oh boy. Oh boy! Zoglu gets collected by Komorowski. Ricks goes through. Edmonds goes through. They survive. Komorowski hangs on to 2nd place. So Tony is also past Zoglu. And Davidson and Sevilla briefly swapping places. Also now involved in this is Sven Semler, who has my favorite livery in the field. Very standoutish. You don't see a lot of orange, black, and green liveries.
Correct.
Gunnar Ricks making his way past Adam Komorowski to 2nd place. Komorowski comes back at him and spins him out. Martin says, "Thank you very much. I'll take the 2nd place." Komorowski's car looking very banged up. We'll see if he pits for that damage or not. Saw that coming a mile away, though, as soon as Ricks went with that move. I'm like, that's going to be contact, and it was. On board with Jason Underwood, who runs in 6th place now. Giving Komorowski a nudge. Or pardon me, that's Zoglu who's giving a nudge to. Heading up towards the kink. And then to the corkscrew. At the top of the hill here at Laguna Seca. Most famous turn on the track here. One of the most famous in all of American motorsports. Here we go. And we cut away from that. That's a shame. I thought we might have some good action going on there. But instead, we pick up Gunnar Ricks as he tries to hunt down Ariel Zatoni for that third spot on the podium for the time being as we approach the halfway distance here of race number 2. And it's Zoglu, Underwood, and Komorowski battling it out for 5th place.
It's time to put him in the wall.
We have Mike Stoppbill in the chat.
You what up?
Is this the Martin Evans tire mukbang stream? Nah, he's done well today. Martin picked up a 3rd place in race number 1 and currently runs in 2nd place, Mr. Stoppmill. Underwood looking for a move there on Zoglu, but nothing happening so far. Fotis is getting a little bit of a kick me sign on him at this point. He's been getting nudged around a couple of times. On board with Underwood. So it is Peter Daniel looking for the doubleheader today. Edmund, Zatoni, Ricks, Zoglu, Underwood, Komorowski, Lefebvre, Semler, and Davidson, your top 10. Couple of surprises in there, to be honest. As further back, Henny Lefebvre losing out to Nicholas Campbell. Campbell has had a rough pair of races. A guy who has top 10 pace for sure, and has had to deal with relatively poor results from race 1 and race 2. Some bad luck has luck has not broken his way. We'll put it that way.
Could be worse. He could be on fire.
That's true. Could be upside down. Could be upside down and on fire. On board with Jason Underwood again. He's getting a good run on Zoglu into that turn pretty frequently. It's just he doesn't seem to really have the ability to bring that pace up to the kink and the corkscrew.
We've got RC in chat as well. What's going on, RC?
Destroyer of Worlds. I think we're going to be sticking with this battle for 5th place for a long time to come. As it is Zoglu, Underwood, and Komorowski battling it out. Not much happening up front. Things have kind of settled. Ricks has overtaken Zatoni for 3rd place and is pulling away. What's the pace difference between him and Edmonds? I don't know. They both did invalid laps last time around. So I do not have times.
Invalid laps are the best laps.
We'll see if that 4-second gap closes enough to make that into a particular battle. Vandenherk has fallen to the back of the pack. Springs is on the tail of Sevilla. Might pop it in there at some point. But for now, we continue to follow Jason Underwood in 6th place as he tries to get that spot away from Fotis Zoglu. Komorowski's car, for all of its misshapenness, appears to be keeping up with pace. So, not a problem for the American driver.
It's customized aerodynamic behavior.
I guess that is how you change the aerodynamics in a fixed setup series. Underwood looking to the inside. And, well, this is where I say, auto director, screw you! And take over manual control. Underwood got the job done. We'll see if the sword car can fight back.
I'll take the penis mightier for 300, Alex.
I'll take the anal bomb car. Steve Davidson on the tail of Sven Semler. Davidson DNF'd race 1. And is looking to salvage what he can from today's round. Oh, Martin. Something's happened to Martin.
Oh.
Martin Edmonds was in second place and has taken a long trip across the sand here.
Baby's gone colorblind.
And I don't know what happened because he was not terribly close to anybody. What's going on here? Go back to the battle between Davidson and Semler. Edmonds appears to be stuck on the side of the road. I wonder if he's had a hardware failure.
Wi-Fi aggro.
Could be. His wife's pretty good about the aggro, though.
Dog aggro.
Dog aggro is more likely in his case, to be honest. Oh, he's parked it. I think that's a hardware issue. Frings and Sevilla going side by side, heading towards the Andretti hairpin. And Stefan Frings will displace Sevilla from the top 10. That's Fran Hidalgo in the light green and yellow car. What do you call that color back there with the third car there in the order? Kind of a... There's a word that I'm just not... It's not coming to me.
Gray.
It's not really a gray.
It's a bluish gray. Or perhaps grayish blue.
Martin reports suspension failure.
Oh, that's wild.
Apparently he hit the curb on the way into the corkscrew. Probably off the kink, actually, now that I think about it. And, yep. Broke his suspension. So well, Canada can't get 2 cars across the line today.
I would recommend installing the hover package that we saw the other people in the pits doing earlier.
Well, as a result, Steve Davidson is now the only Canadian representative. As we pick up Sven Semler and Steve Davidson, they have caught up to the back of Niels Lefebvre, who's having a very, very good second race, but will be dropping through the order now. That has promoted Argentina's Ariel Zatoni to the podium. And here is Jason Underwood going for the overtake. And moving into... What has happened to Zatoni that he's fallen back here?
Oh,
Zatoni was not involved with Underwood and Zoglu before. But alas, that has happened. Also, we have Martin doing camera control now.
Oh, very nice.
We have a producer. Excellent.
Just watch Martin just put the camera on his car and just leave it there.
Well, I can fight him. Not that camera. Not that camera, Martin. Thank you. I like the scenic cameras, but they lose track of the cars.
Martin puts on helicopter cam only on his car.
Ariel losing out also to Zoglu. So I don't know what happened to Ariel. He was running in a comfortable third place and has now suddenly found himself in fifth. We saw the overtakes. We saw him lose out to Zoglu and to Underwood, but I don't know how that suddenly became a battle.
I believe he had to slow down so he can grab some nachos.
Steve Davidson putting some pressure on Nils Lefebvre. Lefebvre?
I believe it's pronounced Favre.
Is not Favre. I will say that much.
LaFarve.
That would be amusing if it was that. Davidson trying to get around the outside. Oh, that is Sembler in the wall. Sven Sembler is falling back. He was on his own. That's an oddity.
It's getting disassembled.
Time running down here. 5 minutes to go. And we are on board with Steve Davidson.
Steve Davidson to the front.
Lefebvre goes to the inside to cover. Heading into the Andretti hairpin. Can Davidson go around the outside? Gonna be close. A little bit of contact, nothing too bad. Rings in the background just going, yes, let the hate flow through you. And it will be a spot for Davidson up into 7th place.
Cha-cha.
Nice recovery drive for the guy who started dead last here today. He's up 10 spots.
All he had to do was push Martin into the fence, and he's all the way through.
Lefebvre gets spun around there as he gets into the rear corner of Davidson. I'd have to say that is a self-imposed spin. I do have to say. There was no real gap there. Fastest lap of the race out of curiosity is a 1:37.506 for Peter Daniel, who is on his way to a double win here.
Get them laps down to 45 seconds flat.
It's not going to happen.
What?
Byron, it's nice to have a goal, but it's generally good to have a goal that you can actually get to. Adam Komorowski under pressure from Ariel Zatoni. Zoglu has not given up on getting onto that podium. He's still on the back end of Jason Underwood.
Dun, 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 dun. Stefan Frings, you have been fined 52 credits for your violation of the Verbal Moralities Code.
For swearing at Steve Davidson as you trail him. Down the inside of the corkscrew. Tony is through. Back into 3rd place, or back into 5th place, I should say. So your big climber here in race number 2, Davidson, obviously 10 spots up from 17th to 7th. And your big fall goes to Adam Komorowski. Started on pole and has fallen back to 6th place. After him, it is... Well, no one really. A couple of people have dropped down 2 spots, but nothing more than that.
Maggle, do you think Zatoni's going to win this one? He's got a couple seconds left to do that.
No, it's I think we're looking at the winner here, Peter Daniel, who will have one more lap because he is not coming across the line with the zeros on the board here. Extending this race probably another lap for everybody. Leads the way from Gunnar Ricks, who's on for 2nd place for both races. And Jason Underwood rounding off the podium here right now. Fotis Zoglu, Ariel Satoni, Adam Komorowski, Steve Davidson, Stefan Frings, Sven Sembler, and Wilfredo Sevilla, your top 10. Nicholas Campbell and Fran Hidalgo on his tail still. And the closest battle out there right now is between Davidson and Frings for 7th. Komorowski suddenly right on the tail of Ariel Zatoni here again. So action heating up for 5th place here as they go through the last couple of turns. Can Komorowski get the job done? Or will the Argentine hang on to 5th place? There is the finish line. Checkered flag waves. They are side by side. Who is going to get it? And it should be Komorowski taking home 5th place.
Very nice.
Also battle to the line. Ooh, Nicholas Campbell.
Well played.
Spins out. Is he across the finish line or no? I think he is. Frings also losing out to Sven Sembler on the last lap. All right. So your winner of both races today, Peter Daniel, 2nd place for Gunnar Ricks in both races, and Jason Underwood 3rd. So Underwood and Edmonds each taking home a podium. Zazoglu 4th, followed by Komorowski. Then it will be Zatoni, Davidson, Semler, Frings, Sevilla, Hidalgo, Lefebvre, Campbell, other Lefebvre, Vandenherk, and Erm.
Congratulations to everybody except Martin, who clearly had a pipe bomb go off in his car.
Well, I mean, he destroyed his own rim. What are you going to do? Side note, Symbian Naku is apparently in Split 3. I was under the impression that, the splits were in order of like pace, like that we're in the number 2 division. And if Simeon's in Division 3, sandbag, pulling the Max Simmons, maybe.
Simeon Nakua, as you've never seen on him before.
Anyways, that's all for today, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. Byron, do you have any final thoughts you'd like to add?
Would Jesus wear a Rolex on his television show?
I wasn't in the command room in Utah in YouTube, so this may take a moment for me to find the button.
Oh, there goes my dramatic ending.
Well, you come up with another one if you want.
Knick knack paddywhack, give your mom the phone.
And we're off.
We did it.